Hi, welcome to Collage of Health. I'd love to do another update on the Akashic Records. I want to do this on a regular basis, and there's been a little hiatus or gap from the last one I did. I think it was last Thursday because I was out of town and I just got back yesterday. So last Thursday, I want to say it was last Thursday, I did a reading, and I don't remember exactly what I shared online on YouTube, but what I what came up was human trafficking, child trafficking, drug trafficking, and Portland, Maine came up on Orange Street, on a place called Orange Street. And I looked it up, and indeed Orange Street exists. It's, near the water. So I found that interesting, and I was just gonna let it go. I just, threw it out there. And that day I went to yoga after Thursday afternoon or night. Went to a yoga class, and after yoga, I was driving home and I just started to pray. I don't know why. I just started to say Our Fathers and Hail Marys. I do a lot of different types of praying. I learned some prayers, some Vedic prayers, but I was doing these Christian prayers on my way home. And I was doing it continuously, and that's not common for me. Like, I usually will say a prayer and then just, let it go or whatever. But it was just kind of continuous driving home. And I, went about my day. Actually I have tomatoes in my garden, so I made some pasta sauce, and I packed and I got ready, and I, was super busy before I went to bed. And I got in bed, wanted to get a good night's sleep because I had to get up at 4 o'clock to take a early flight. And I got in bed and I started to think about this place on Orange Street where potentially there was some human trafficking. And what came to me was this: the first image I got was an older man who had a cough, and he was like a smoker, and he was gross, basically. No offense to, older people with coughs or whatever, but this man was, not only from, his hacking cough and, smoker cough, but his beingness was gross. And I got a sense that he was in the house with these people that were being trafficked. Definitely women and children were there. I don't know if other men were there. I'm sure that they were. And he was like watching over the house. And I also got a sense that he was sexually abusing the people in the house. And that the other bad people nicknamed him Gramps, like that was his nickname. And then there was a man who was handling the drug trafficking piece, and he was Black. And what was most noticeable about this man was he was pretty clean cut, and that he had like white, almost like white tennis shoes or sneakers. Like they were his shoes stood out more than anything. Um, and then there was a third person, and this person, I think I might have mentioned the Sean Penn character in my last one. Like the guy looked like this devil. It was like, looked like Sean Penn. Well, I think that that guy is the one who's running the house. Like he's in charge of the trafficking, the human trafficking and the drug trafficking. He looks kind of impish, maybe similar to Sean Penn, very dangerous. Like all this came to me flooding in as I'm trying to go to sleep. And that there was about 20 people in the house, and that that was basically it. There was probably more, but I'm not remembering it right now. And so I couldn't sleep. I was up all night long thinking about this. My heart started racing. I just got the sense of how desperate these people were. They were in the basement of this house. There was about 20 of them, and how they were being mistreated and abused. and that the person running the house was especially dangerous and dark. So I decided to call the Portland Police Department and just put um, a suspected, what do I mean, how do you call it? Like when you're getting these downloads and you don't have facts, but you have these strong visions, so to speak. And this does not normally happen to me. This was very unique. I don't know that this has ever happened to me, anything like this. And so then I got a sense that this was a big, high level issue, that there could very well be um, politicians, including the police department, involved in kickbacks. I got a sense that there were honest police officers there doing their job and, going about their business of trying to solve crimes. And then there was also this undercurrent of corruption, which, is probably not surprising. It exists everywhere. So I took my flight, and I actually ended up going to a friend's house first, and I went to New England. I didn't go to Maine, but that's actually, ironically, that's where my daughter lives and her family. And my friend also lives in the New England area, and I stopped there first. And her son is friends with a guy who's in the military, and he happened to say that there are planes going in at night, flying into Portland, Maine, and bringing these, you know, um, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, illegals or, yeah, I guess illegal immigrants coming in, and these people are I don't know if trafficking is the right word, but they're being flown in by the military at night. So we both thought that was pretty interesting, that there indeed are a lot of people who have come, to the United States, probably through the cartel, hoping to, get a better life. I'm sure there's, people with good intentions and of course bad intentions coming in. But there, probably many people who, were desperate in their own country, thinking that they could get a better life here. They're trafficked, they brought in through the cartel, and then they're vulnerable to human trafficking, and it's high level, and there's a lot of corruption within possibly the military and the political system, that are people getting a lot of money for humans being um, trafficked. So anyway, called the police, and I did put a report out. And the man answering the phone seemed very bored, like he was very not interested in what I had to say. And he seemed disinterested even before I told him that I was like downloads that I got, psychic downloads or whatever you want to call it. And he took my phone number down and said, somebody might call you, and nobody's called. So I was having a conversation with my mom. She had worked when I was a kid as a probation officer. And the first thing she said was, there's probably corruption in the department. That is, they are just turning their head and looking the other way. So again, I don't think it's everybody in the police department in Portland or everywhere, but I think sometimes the powers that be can be corrupted by money. So anyway, that's that foul up. I've just had to let it go. I did what I could do. There's always the potential that I'm totally wrong, but I had enough of a um, hit an urgency and just, visceral feeling for what was happening, that I had to follow up on it. So I did. All right, so today, let's see what I got today. Um, Might have to, let's see, I'm gonna just pause this. So today's message was pretty short. I got a sense that the chess players were making moves. And before President Biden exited the race, the presidential race, and Kamala Harris became the front runner, I got a message that the players on the chessboard were shifting. I think that's how they told me. But today they said the chess players are making moves, which I thought was interesting. Saw yellow jaundice that came through, fallout shelters. And they said once you get through what is happening next, there'll be brighter days. I got a little scared. I called in Jesus. He said, I'm here, sister of love. I said, can I step over this? And he said, you can step around it. And then I got a message, unreal, merciful spaces are held in the darkest of places. Unreal, merciful spaces are held in the darkest of places. So I got a sense that there would be some mercy and reprieve, hopefully for all of us, through the darkness, whatever darkness might be coming ahead. And who knows, maybe this darkness is coming in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or maybe it's coming this fall. I don't know. I asked, was I accurate about Portland, Maine? And they said exactly so. I said, was anything done with the information that I gave? And they said no. And by the way, the police officer, the dispatcher I spoke with said, oh, we'll do a drive-by. We'll drive by. I was like, well, don't go in a marked car because they're gonna, if they are suspicious, they'll move the people, but whatever. Then the Christian Christmas song came up, Come All Ye Faithful. Then I saw the Arctic Circle, Switzerland came up, Detroit River, possibly the Mid-Atlantic area. And they said, be prepared, things will happen all at once. And then they said, be aware of the one who comes to fix it. So I got a sense that they said, be aware a few times of like a wolf who comes in sheep's clothing. So be really careful about people who seem like they're going to be like saviors, because they might be, part of the dark agenda. And then I decided to ask, like, who am I? Like, and then one of the messages I got was, you're a gargoyle, you're a gargoyle. So I thought that was pretty funny. I wasn't going to share that, but I thought, well, I'm sharing like sister of love stuff. I better share the gargoyle stuff too. They said, you are many things. You are many creatures trapped in your body. You're many things trapped in your body. You are loved, you are safe, you are home. So this message I'm giving to, not that you're a gargoyle, but you're loved, you're safe, you're home. These messages I take as for me and anyone who's listening to this. And then I was told that I'll be working with ET groups, especially the Pleiades and also the Arcturians, and again, thirdly, the Syrians, people from Sirius A and B. So that's it. When I was at my daughter's, I was sitting outside before everyone got up, and I went into the Akashic records. I actually did it both days, but I didn't write down anything. But the only thing that really stood out was one day I was beamed up to the spaceship, and I was on the spaceship, and I was very like, I didn't like being there. I felt like I was trapped on this spaceship. and I was told that I was at a Council of Reconciliation meeting. I was with a Council of Reconciliation group, and I was like, what's the Council of Reconciliation? I've been in other councils before, councils of light and stuff like that, which I've been able to map in some ways. But I didn't know, I've never heard of a Council of Reconciliation. So I went to like Wikipedia. I was telling my son-in-law, who thinks all of this is nuts, crazy. And he's a Star Wars fan. And he said, like, I think it has to do with some kind of virtual Star Wars, and it's like it's a peace council. So I thought that was pretty wild. I might put in the notes, you know, the Wikipedia definition of the Council of Reconciliation. So it sounds like it does exist potentially out there in the ethers, and maybe they wanted me to be a part of it. So there were definitely dark beings on this spaceship that I was on. And so I guess maybe it's almost like a I don't know, maybe a council where different factions work together. Who knows? But I was very uncomfortable, and I kind of beamed out of it and beamed up high. And yeah, I went to this place of like the purple plane. And I used to do clair vision meditations, and they used to talk about the purple plane. And I felt like this plane existed. It's really high dimensionality. You have to go up pretty high to this purple plane. And it felt just really peaceful. Like I was just getting very much like a healing from um, this high vibe space up in the ethers. So anyway, have a good one. Thanks for watching. However you take this, I just appreciate you listening. So thank you.